see, Rotino, Rainbow. Hello, IV3. Hello, Viola. How you doing? Welcome. Let's see, Wednesday night, and a little bit of a shorter live tonight, and maybe about 20 minutes tonight. Long day, lots going on in the week. And hello, Greg. How you doing? Viola again. Danielle. Hello. Shanta. Hello. Again, Kelsey, Erin, and Kat. Courtney. Hello. Dodger Babe 81. Hello, LA Dodger fan. Grew up in LA. Used to work at Dodger Stadium when I was a teenager. Hardest job I had, pretty much. Hello, Jana from Miami. Welcome. Kendra. Hi, everyone. A little slow this evening. Maybe do about 20. We'll see. You know, I always, once I get going, I get going. L. Dempsey. Hello. Ken, Dr. Oh boy. I'll keep that going. I'll get all of it. Nevim, hello. And Jody, hi. Angelina, Danielle, again. Is back-to-back IUI recommended? Just one. You know, back-to-backs can be helpful. So if you do a trigger and then 12 to 24 hours do an IUI, and then 24 to 36 hours later do an IUI. So usually trigger at night, insemination the next day, and the day after that works nice. And if you're doing intercourse IUI or IUI intercourse, that can work really nicely also. So, hey Meg, how you doing? Huma, Stacy Lynn, hello. Thank you for joining. Red Z, Nuka, hello. See you on Monday. I'll be there on Monday. I think I'm there all week. This week, the rest all next week. Week after that, I think I'm out of town Wednesday and back on following Monday. So we just keep going. Cindy, hello. In Syracuse on Tuesday. I'll be there Tuesday. Tuesday's my day. Let's see, not next Tuesday. Tuesday after that, I'll leave a little early, but typically I'll be there for most of the procedures. By the way, Dr. Corley's really growing one, so I thought I had to get going on a little bit of the grass up here, but we'll see. Melissa, hello. Last 2 months I've had to use Provera to start a period due to PCOS. Do you recommend a month of birth control? You don't have to have a period to do IVF. Remind everyone, if you don't get a period, do an ultrasound, start your stims. If your lining looks great, do a fresh. If not, do a freeze-all, and then you'll get a period. You'll be fine. You don't need to have a period to do IVF. That is it, all right? So if Provera is not working, forget it. Just get skimming, do a retrieval, make some embryos, either transfer, put them on ice, and come back again, by the way. Jenzia, hello, Aaron. Heating pad on your back after fresh transfer. Listen, yes, try some ice, by the way. You know, cooling reduces inflammation better than heating, by the way. The heat, remember, it heats up the blood, which then circulates intra-abdominally and pelvic. So I would say cool. Loves Paris. Hello. Thank you very much. I'm working on it. It's a little challenging sometimes, but Denny L. Hello. Lupus last week. Lupus is an immunologic condition secondary to a high plant-based diet, low-fat diet, by the way. Rheumatologist, yes, IVIG, Humira, look at all of these. Aspirin, prednisone, maybe some Plaquenil may be helpful. Talk to your rheumatologist, by the way. Infectious disease testing, husband needs it for freezing sperm. Let's see, if we're freezing sperm and making an embryo to go into someone else, but infectious disease testing isn't necessary in general for our sperm freezing. But if you're having it somewhere else, we'd be glad to order all those testing for you, by the way. LDN, CBD, metformin, Ovasitol for 2 months. After 9, if my eggs, let's see, Tuesday after 9, if my eggs fertilized, anything else I should add for egg quality? AMH 11.8, metformin, Ovasitol, keto, 5 times. Brother Ray, right? Light and love, unexplained infertility, and antiphospholipid syndrome, 3 failed IUIs. Well, it's all immunologic. It's inflammatory. This is why we have hypertension, diabetes, blood clots, strokes, IBS, all of it, and antiphospholipid syndrome and unexplained infertility. I call it idiopathic, which means it's inflammatory. That's why I'm neurotic about keto, 10 times at least. It really helps, but add the fat, intralipids, aspirin, prednisone, paleo keto diets. And remember, you can eat carbohydrates, but cook them well and add the fat. It'll help a lot, by the way. Process of gender selection with IVF. Courtney, IVF, make embryos, take them to blast, biopsy day 5, 6, or sometimes day 7, freeze the embryos. We send the biopsy tissue off to get tested, whether it's a XX or XY embryo. That's really it. Keep it simple, but they have to be frozen and you come back later. We really don't have any other known ways to do that. That is really the best way, by the way. Recommend for PCOS, keto, right? That is it. It's amazing, by the way. But Ovasitol, metformin, oh boy, my brain is having a little bit of a slowdown. Laparoscopy with ovarian drilling is something to consider, and that's really mainly it. Letrozole trigger, Clomid trigger, low-dose injectables. PCOS often has a higher AMH, makes more eggs, but there's some metabolic syndromes which are pre-diabetes, I call it, which really are the major cause of our problems. Low-fat diet is deadly. Donor team there are needed. We need more donors, team. We need more. Bring your own donors. Find someone to be a donor. Donor eggs, donor sperm, donor embryos, and donate to carry a baby, donate a uterus. We're working on all of this, and my team is really overwhelmed kind of right now, but really busy. We're really working on Colorado soon, Buffalo soon, and next year, once we get Buffalo and Colorado working out, we're going to get Atlanta. But patience, I have the dream, I think about it, and we work it, we'll get it. But we have to really go slow and easy. Read all of our stuff on our website. Download the Keto Magazine, the Family Building Guide. They can really, really help, by the way. Miracle should be home next week after almost 3 months in the NICU. Alicia, I'm praying for health and wellness for you, your baby, and all those out there that are going through this really crazy, challenging journey, by the way. I don't know the fax number for medical records. Maybe someone else does. But send a correspondence in. They usually get that pretty well. But right now, we're really seeing and hearing from so many, by the way. Wife's 3rd day of cycle happens on the weekend and she needs blood work done. Call Saturday for Monday or call on Monday. Usually plenty. Sometimes you can get pre-testing later in the cycle. So once you get your period, we're going to get you going much faster, by the way. So it may be more like a day 26, 27, 28. Ultrasound and blood work may be very helpful, by the way. All right, what is the resting follicle? Nurse said I had a resting follicle on my right ovary, but didn't put it in my resting follicle. Well, but you got me stumped on that one, and I'll have to review that. But basically, if you have a hemorrhagic cyst, but a resting, we really, as long as you look at a follicle, you may be talking at a baseline. Now we have some follicles that are in the process of wanting to get going, but they need the natural hormones to stimulate it, or the injectables or letrozole or Clomid to get it moving forward, by the way. But when we do a baseline, we may be looking at many other smaller follicles, but those are the follicles that are destined to grow and or become atretic if they don't mature and grow, by the way. Slow down from growing, what should I do? Seal. It basically, if they're not growing, you may need more injectables, you may need more time, or they may be non-functional follicles that aren't going to grow. But typically, more injectables in either amount or time, or letrozole Clomid going longer, and going from 50 to 100 of Clomid, or 5 to 10 of letrozole. All right. Would you recommend, let's see, Kendra, let's see, transferring 2 embryos after 3 failed FETs? Yes, it's reasonable. You know, after several failed, under 35, it's reasonable to go to 2. Over 35, it may be reasonable to go to 3 after several failed cycles, by the way. But it's really important to look at endometriosis as the cause, laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, a month of 2 to 4 weeks of antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral, and maybe a month of Orilissa or Lupron plus letrozole for medical treatment for endometriosis. Letrozole used for it wasn't put in my retrieval meds. Maza 84. It isn't. It's just one protocol, which is usually a lower mini dose protocol, where you're adding 10 milligrams for 5 days, plus gonadotropins at a lower dose, works well in some people. But typically it's not used for most. It's just another protocol add-on in the process. 35 PCOS. Getting ready to do first IVF, will you implant 1 or 2 embryos? Typically 1 embryo, especially if you're looking at blast under 35. You may do 2 possibly if they're day 3, if you're between 30 and 35. But typically that first, second, and sometimes the third, 1 embryo, 1 embryo, 1 embryo. Jamie, how you doing? Charlotte, hello. Thanks for joining. ER cycles should be trying to get in day 1 or 2 of the cycle, possibly even the day before. Yes, I think going in a little earlier, we're working more and more on starting the meds day 1, 2, or 3. So, and sometimes without that baseline ultrasound and blood work, it just gets started. So some new things we're working on in the process, by the way. PRP embryo glue for transfer, Ginger, hi. Reading on both of them, both promising add-ons. I believe they are good promising add-ons, is to go for the embryo glue, something new we've been adding on, but it's a little bit extra. You got to ask about it because it is extra, and it may enhance implantation. It's a culture media used a couple of hours prior to transfer. You culture the 1 or 2 embryos in that before the transfer, and then the other was platelet-rich plasma. So yes, PRP may be used intrauterine, either day of retrieval or any time a day prior to transfer for fresh or frozen, or even maybe used for IUI or intercourse cycles, all to reduce intra-abdominal pelvic inflammation. How's everyone doing? iHeart, Lindsay, hello. Let's see, Roti to Rainbow. Okay, I'm a little slow. Root to Rainbow. You know, I'm really bad at the Scrabbly word games, by the way, so sorry about that. But recurrent pregnancy loss, remember, inflammation. Keto, low-dose naltrexone, CBD. Maybe that's where the weekly intralipids, the PRP, the antibiotic, antifungal, antiviral protocol for 2 to 4 weeks may come in. That's where laparoscopy, hysteroscopy for endometriosis, and don't forget male factor. So it may be a sperm issue. Remember, unexplained. It could be sperm, could be egg, could be embryo, could be your body. But that's where Conception XR, keto for guys, LDN, and CBD. Get off the treadmill, cool it down, slow it down. Really, really helpful, by the way. All right. So, Justine, hello. Sadie, what is the status of the clinic in Colorado? Almost there. But remember, if we all do this, Colorado, CNY Fertility Colorado, New York Fertility Center, CNY, that's what I'm, but we're almost there, you know, but it's not there until it's there. How long after a lap can you do a transfer, Viola? 2 to 4 weeks, you can do it. When are you too old to donate eggs? Typically over 34, 32, but it all depends on AMH, your history, in all of this. The AMH is greater than 2, under 8 is probably decent, by the way. monitoring facility. My doctor doesn't do sonograms in the office. We'll help you get a radiologist, ultrasound person nearby, or someone else nearby can help with that. But we will talk to and work with anyone out there to help do that, by the way. Neyama. I'm doing a cool down. You know, I get a little warm in all this. IVF with an AMH, that is 0.4. Yes, you can. Remember, the AMH may not determine your pregnancy chances completely. It may just determine the number of eggs. But 0.4 AMHs make babies. 0.1 can make a baby. The 0.08, that's where it gets really challenging. But let's say nothing's impossible or everything is possible. That's what we need to hold on to every single day, by the way. Today, hello. Come to the Bay Area. I used to be in Oakland at Alta Bates. That's where I first started off after with Dr. Chakowski. Awesome. Really enjoyed it. A little bit in San Francisco. I miss it a little bit, but I love it upstate. And we're able to see people around the country, around the globe, and help them through this process, by the way. Fresh embryo when I retrieve. Yes, can be done, by the way. We do a lot of fresh, a lot of frozens, a lot of day 3s, and not a no PGSs, and a lot of reproductive immunology, by the way. So remember, it's all about inflammation, which causes hypertension, diabetes, blood clot, strokes, irritable bowel colitis, Alzheimer's, dementia. The list is long, by the way. It's really crazy. Process for IUI, just started the Omnitrope. How long before I can implant an embryo? Maybe IVF, which meant, but basically 2 to 4 weeks of Omnitrope, or with the stimulation, maybe all you need. But we also do Omnitrope, getting ready for frozen embryo transfer, may be helpful in the process, by the way. I haven't thought about Chicago yet, but who knows? Chelsea, hello. 0.08, I know that's really tough, but I've seen it change by doing keto, DHEA, Omnitrope for 2 to 4 weeks, a little bit of esterase, 2 milligrams, 1 to 2 milligrams, and once it comes up, I've seen improvement. I've seen really low AMHs go up, FSHs go down, and voila, pregnancy happened. Remember, inflammation in and around the ovaries or the testicles damages eggs, sperm, and consequently your embryo and that implantation site, by the way. Blood work on Tuesday. When should I receive a call about moving forward? It's about 1 to 2 weeks to get a call to move forward. In the process, we also want to recognize we have to be patient. We're seeing a lot of clients. We want to make sure everyone gets the very best going on, by the way. So go slow in the process. FSH or 10 LH of 8, can you still use own eggs? Absolutely, Melissa. That doesn't mean that FSH LH doesn't tell if it's an 80 FSH and it's a menopausal FSH, that might be a little bit harder. Not impossible. I've seen it turn completely around. AMH here, go up to here, FSH here, go down to here. So keto, LDN, CBD, slow it down, a little bit of acupuncture massage, maybe a little bit of meditation and prayer, by the way. Nikki, Jay, Swan, how you doing? Angie, hello. Letty Mujika, hello. 28 6-field IUIs, all with letrozole going left and trigger. PCOS, now I've been on keto and exercising. And LDN, should I jump to IVF and try one more IUI? Remember about laparoscopy, hysteroscopy for endo, adhesions, and ovarian drilling may be helpful before you do another IUI. And yes, IVF may still help you more. But remember, keto, a light exercise. Remember, isometric, I think they're called, a little bit of yoga, Tai Chi. Keep it simple, light, and easy, by the way. And I use our Peloton almost daily. Too much heat is cooking the eggs and the sperm. I used to do that all the time, but I recommend going slow. Do a light ride. Just go light. Enjoy the nature. Put on a good video and watch nature as you're going through a bike ride through the woods or things like that. But doing this is heating up the core, and that's where the ovaries, uterus, and blood flow that goes right to the testicles. Not good for us. Melatonin, what is the melatonin for other than sleep? It may reduce inflammation, so it may be beneficial, but I'm not an expert on melatonin, by the way. Wheatgrass, big wheatgrass fan, but a little bit's okay. But remember, it's mostly LDN, DHEA, and add the fat. That's where I think it really comes in. Acupuncture massage. Do I know if egg quality is bad? If you're not getting pregnant, it may be egg quality, sperm quality, embryo quality. But just go to our family building guide and read about all the things you can do to increase egg quality, sperm quality, embryo quality, by the way. What day is usually fresh embryo transferred after retrieval? It's either day 3 or day 5 or day 6 for a fresh retrieval, most commonly. But we do some day 2s, we do some day 4s, but typically it's the 3rd day for cleavage and day 5 or 6 for a blastocyst embryo, by the way. Everyone doing well? Thanks for joining. Omnitrope. Basically, it's to help with egg quality and maybe help with implantation environment for frozen transfer or fresh. Hoping to transfer again soon. Our son just turned 4 months. All right, Darcy. Chris, hello. Lauren, hello. Get period. I don't normally get periods. Is it worth trying IUI or just, yes, you can do IUIs even without a period also. Get a baseline, start your meds, do a trigger shot, ovulate. If you don't get pregnant with an IUI intercourse, then you'll get a period again. And if you're not sure, Provera, hysteroscopy, D&C, but a lot of this is ultrasound bloods and get you started. It really can be very helpful. And don't forget, low-dose protocols, mini protocols, natural protocols for all of these things, by the way. Blocked fallopian tubes and cyst on one of your ovaries, is it worth this? If a blocked tubes and the cyst on the ovary, is it worth having surgery cleared tubes and remove cyst? Should just go to IVF. Monique, it may be reasonable to do those things. It may be reasonable just to go to IVF. Now, if the tubes are blocked distally and it's called a hydrosalpinx, then typically those should be either removed or ligated before you move on to treatment, by the way. Supplements do you recommend increase fertility? Basically, we're going to recommend Ovavite, Ovasitol, Theramegas, vitamin D. The Ovavite has the vitamin D extra, the CoQ10 and the extra vitamin D may be enough. But look at our website and you get some really good information. And Andrea Bartlett, how you doing? How long do you think I will have to wait to proceed following being hit head on? Minimum 3 months. Oh my gosh. Can put any weight on my shred. You got to wait probably 3 months. It might be 6 months. We might, if you're good enough, we might say let's make some embryos and freeze them, or some egg freezing. But these are all things to consider. But boy, I'm so glad you're doing okay. Praying for everyone's health and wellness throughout this journey, this COVID time. Losing so many, unfortunately, it's really a challenging time for all of us. Miss Kiss. Fertilidad, hello. Will you be opening on Sundays anytime soon, even if it's for a couple of hours? I'm not thinking about it, but I don't know that yet. But Monday through Saturdays work pretty nicely. I need my downtime. That Sunday really is helpful, by the way. Sonohistogram while taking Clomid. You can do sonohistogram while doing IUI, IVF, or any of these treatments. Technically, do them early in the cycle. It may be reasonable. Add a little PRP, do a sonogram with a little extra high volume PRP. Dr. V, Atlanta, really likes that protocol and works really nicely. Whether you're trying with intercourse, IUI, or IVF, or fresh or frozen transfer, by doing all these things like intralipids, PRP, high volume, we're reducing inflammation, helps a lot of those that have recurrent pregnancy loss, repetitive implantation failure, or just not getting pregnant, by the way. My med, can I stay on next? I have all my meds. Can I start on my next? You should be able to, Gina. I have my baseline ultrasound today, and my lining is 13. Provera to enforce. Well, I don't think necessarily so. If you're doing a baseline for IVF, sometimes you just get started, you make embryos, you freeze them, and you see if it's good enough at that point. If you're doing an IUI or intercourse cycle, quite often we wait for it to be thinner, but if not, it may be worth an ovulatory cycle to get you to ovulate, then shed the lining, and then get going in the process. That sometimes just helps people get pregnant also, by the way. And usually we're looking for under 5 millimeters for a start, but again, there's a lot of flexibility. A thicker lining for just a standard IVF gives us some information. We do a lot of freeze-alls, by the way, and it works really nicely. I have an arcuate uterus, cyst on left ovary, 2 fibroids. Oh, I'm 36, no children, no miscarriages. Do you recommend an IUI? I recommend get rid of the fibroids. Maybe an ovarian cyst, could be endometriosis. Get rid of them. I've seen it. So many people conceive and deliver a baby after that. But fibrosis, I think you meant fibroids, but adenomyosis, not easy to take out. But you can just go right into a cycle and see what happens. If it's not working, think about laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, and taking out those fibroids. Hey, Jer, how you doing, Jeremy? Leo and Sydney, hello to you guys. Transfer, can I, yes, Viola, you can do a transfer. Jessica Lallier, how you doing? Gabrielle, do I still do keto if Dr. Gomi is removing my large fibroids and not described? Yes, keto. Shout out to Dr. Gomi, by the way, but keto is for life. It's the very best thing I've ever done. 1 meal a day at night, high fat, low carbs, a steak a day keeps the doctor away. By the way, an apple a day will require drugs and the doctor. That's the craziness. Gabrielle, 10 weeks because you guys, you're discharged. Well, remember, you're never gone from our practice. We're always here to help in this journey, by the way. What estrogen level should PCOS have in trigger day, fresh transfer? Under 3,000 for pretty much everyone and anyone. And remember, as long as it's under 3,000, preferably under 2, maybe even better, but the progesterone under 2.5, under 3. But there are some cases where it's okay to do a transfer, by the way. Let's see. Thick lining. Thick lining means probably anovulatory, could be a polyp, hyperplasia, hysteroscopy, D&C, reasonable. You know, a saline sonogram isn't necessarily enough. Do a hysteroscopy, D&C, get it cleaned out, and get going. Sometimes you do the birth control pill, do the hysteroscopy, D&C, get going. If you do the hysteroscopy, D&C, and you have PCOS, don't ovulate, don't wait for your period. Get going on your drugs and your meds. Tell my team, Dr. K says, get going, by the way. Just diagnosed with anovulatory, should I pursue IVF or IUI? Kendra, you can do IUI or intercourse cycles with anovulatory cycles, but if you want to move forward, you've been waiting too much time, guess what? Move on to IVF if that's where you want to go. Ultimately, it may be the best chance of success. Preconception testing need on CD3. We don't require CD3 testing, by the way. AMH doesn't require it. None of the other tests do either, so you don't need to do those, by the way. Love ya, Joy. Hello, how are you doing? Lauren, 0808, hello. Crave, Risa, the Mrs. Ziegler, hello. Excision for endo. Excision or vaporization, depending on the depth and the location. If it's just superficial or over a perineal area, easy to vaporize. But if it's over a structure where you should grab it and cut it so you don't damage the structures underneath, that I recommend also, by the way. 5 weeks, amazing. We're waiting, showing possibly only one. You can't tell by the numbers if just one stuck, by the way. All right, 8:29. Thank you for joining. I'm going to try to carry this out Monday through Thursdays, Fridays off. But depending on my days, sometimes it's like, okay, I got to relax. But I'll see you Sundays at 10 a.m. And thanks so much, everyone joining me. Thanks for the questions, the comments, prayer visualization. And we all need to work to slow it down, cool it down. Lots of faith and prayer for everyone, by the way. Bit about intralipids. Intralipids, intravenous fats. When you eat fat or infuse fat, it reduces inflammation more than anything. And remember, plant oils are not as anti-inflammatory as animal fats, by the way. But coconut oil, a little olive oil, and hemp seed oil may be the one. Okay, shout out, gratitude, and love to everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, most likely. God bless. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate it.